Hey, what's up guys? It's Art Book Addiction here, and we're here with a new artist journey video. So today, we're going to be talking about surrendering yourself to the journey, okay? So, during the journey, there'll be a lot of times where obviously there's going to be doubt, there's going to be the grind, there's going to be all the struggles of the journey, right? And you're gonna that's really all there is to it, right? And all you could really do is, and I guess in your mind, right, and also in mine, is either give up or to surrender yourself to the path, okay? To just resign yourself to just keep going, right? To just not give up and just to keep going. And it's like not necessarily like an emotion of determination, but more an emotion of like acceptance and in the beginning a sign of like resignment, right? But resignment like in a good way, right? Where it's like, I know my fate, I accept my fate, I accept my journey, and I must continue it, right? For hell or high water, okay, basically, right? But it's a different kind of emotion, a different kind of feel, and a different kind of philosophy behind it, right? So that's what we talk about today. But before we start the video, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out my prints and Patreon if you want to support the channel, and join the Discord, okay? And with that, let's get into it. Resigning yourself to the journey, okay? So what brought this about? Recently, like, I think I watched a video somewhere where someone was basically saying, like, just surrender yourself to whatever you're doing. Like, just, like, you know, when it comes to the path, when it comes to the human journey, just surrender yourself, allow the current to take you, okay, right? And your current may look different than everybody else's, right? But that's okay, and you could just go with it, okay, instead of fighting it, okay? And basically, essentially what that means is, like, you need to stop fighting your own flow, okay, right? Like, the way your brain works, right? The flow of your mind and the direction of your life, right? Right, you know, sometimes it may look really bad, and there's going to be a lot of things to resist, okay? And a lot of the resistance I've realized, okay, and like, this doesn't mean like if you're gonna be homeless, you know, lean into being homeless, right, kind of thing, right? But you get what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to the artist journey, when it comes to doing something that you enjoy, something that you're passionate about, you need to resist yourself less, okay, right? You need to, in a way, like, accept that you are that kind of person, okay? Right? Whoever you are, you need to find a level of like acceptance within yourself and acceptance of like what you're doing, okay? So especially in regards to the artist journey, right? You know, there's a lot of times where I have huge doubts, I have huge fears, right? And huge struggle and huge resistance, right? And that's just part of the journey. That's just part of the journey. But sometimes, like, on like, so that's like on a like smaller level, okay? That's like a smaller level. On a higher level, you need to surrender yourself to the process, okay? Right? You need to understand that what you're going through right now, okay, similar to an art piece, okay, it's developing, right? You know, and the more you show up, the more it's going to become refined, the better it's become. You know, you as an artist, you as a person, you're going to become more refined, better, stronger, truer, understanding yourself more, right? And that's the real journey, right? It's not just the, you know, pain journey, or the artist journey. It is the human journey, where you need to accept yourself for who you are, realize your flaws, realize where you're limited, realize where you're not limited, right? And once you realize all those things, you need to surrender yourself to your own will, okay? Like I said, it's almost like resigning, right? but it's like, again, resigning in a positive way, right? Where it's like, for example, like, if you are like someone who has a limitation, okay, and you refuse to acknowledge that you have this limitation, and you always keep struggling against it again and again and again to either change your perception of that thing, right, of that limitation, to say like, no, it's not a limitation, right, versus like accepting the limitation, working with the limitation, and kind of like understanding that it is in fact a limitation that you need to work around, but that's okay because that's part of you, right? There are things in this world and in yourself that you cannot change, okay? That there are things that like are core to your being, whether you like it or not, affliction or personality trait or something that's deep within you, that or something that happened in your childhood. Like, we all like to think that, especially I feel like in the US, that there are things within ourselves that you could always become the perfect being, right? Or like the ultra human, the ubermensch, right? The person, like, it's funny because I used to have that mentality where I'm like, no, I could change everything about myself, I could become a whole different person, right? But then you get faced with the reality that at the end of the day that you're still you, right? And what I'd like to say is, with that, is like, of course we'd like, you want to know the differences between these things, what you could change, what you can't change, and like the wisdom to be able to tell them apart, right? The old adage at this point, right? And when it comes to the artist journey, right, I see a lot of people who struggle with the path, struggle with the choice of the path, right? They don't know whether they should to continue to pursue artistic endeavors, to continue to be creative, right? To like, whether it's like a viable career choice, right? And all I gotta say is, like, for those things, right, that's your choice, right? You could choose, right? If you're in a bad situation and you need to make a choice, make the choice. You know what I mean? Right? And for those who are like, struggling artistically, right? It really has to do with whether you want to be a professional or not, or you want to do it more casually, right? Or you want to do it like as an activity for yourself, right? For those who want to do it professionally, I'd say, surrender yourself, just keep going, okay? I understand and I feel you, okay? Right? If you want to be professional, that is the much harder road, okay? Way harder, okay? And this video, I guess, is more meant for those people anyway, right? For people who want to struggle, who want to make a living as an artist, right? Or live the life of the artist, right? And those who, want to do it as a side thing, right? If you're feeling that's the way you want to go, right? And like, you kind of have like maybe you had a preconceived notion about art, and then you like learn things, and now like you view art differently, and you think like, well, I could be comfortable doing art as a side thing, right? If you feel that way, then you're naturally going to go that way anyway, you know what I mean? And like, good for you. I'm glad you could view art in such a like more as like a piece for you, you know what I mean? It's like, that's good for you. You could draw for yourself, you don't need other people's acknowledgments. You only really need your own, and like, I'm happy for you. And like, if you want to surrender yourself to that, to the process of that, do it, right? It's a much more like, I wouldn't say easy life, but like a life where you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself, right? Now back to the other side, right? Those who want to like actually do the thing and make something real, right? I'm not saying that like the people who do the side thing aren't making something real, but you get what I'm saying. Like, where you're struggling financially and many more factors, right? Surrender yourself, okay? Surrender yourself, right? allow yourself to develop, allow time and your journey to shape you, okay? Allow the process of becoming to happen, okay? Right? So like when you're making an art piece, right, we all know it starts off, and like, you know, maybe your sketch is good, maybe your drawing's good, and then you start, you know, you start actually working it, and then like there's that awkward period where it's like it's looking like you're like, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing, right? Maybe I'm not the artist that I thought I was, right? And all you really know is that you just got to keep working it. You just got to keep like, no, like I just got to ignore those things and just keep pushing forward, keep working it, keep making it better, make this a little bit better, make this a little bit better, make this a little bit better, right? And you'll notice as you do those things, right, as you just, you know, keep going, you'll notice the piece getting better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and then eventually it'll click, right? And then your piece will be like, whoa, now actually, like, I like it. Maybe I do know how to draw. Maybe I do know how to paint, right? And that's a great feeling, right? And that's that's how I want you to view, like, yourself, okay? You are also an art piece, right? You are the culmination of your other art pieces, right? You are the eternal project, okay, within yourself, right? And what we try to do a lot of times is force ourselves to become something that we're not. And it's very similar to like forcing a painting. When you force a painting or a drawing to be constricted in a way that you think that you want to impose on the thing, it never turns out right. It never turns out well, okay? But when you allow the painting to tell you what it wants, when you allow the painting to guide you, okay, it could do things like surprise you, okay? Like you see a painting and you are making it, and you're like, something happens, you're like, whoa, how did I do that, right? That's when the real magic comes in, okay? That's when the real juices come in that allow you to make the piece, and allows the piece to make itself in a very mysterious way, and it comes out way better, right? And that's what you want to approach your own journey like, okay? It's a journey of discovery, okay? It's an exploration of the self, okay? And when you explore yourself, you're gonna find out things about yourself that you will like and you won't like, but that you need to accept. And there will be parts of you that are very surprising that you never expected, right? And it all ties with being open, okay? Being open to the universe, being open to the outside and the inside, right? If you close yourself off, it's harder to observe yourself, okay? Or to allow yourself to do things, right? And you know, it's real because you live your life, and life throws things at you, so you want to like curl up and like be defensive and go into defensive mode, right? And you know, if you're in that mode, like, you know, if it's necessary, keep it, you know, but like eventually you got to put down the arms, you get what I'm saying? Or you got to let go of the tightness, right? You got to see that this is like, it's like you want to control, right? You want to control it, but like that need for control is actually hurting you, right? It's not allowing you to feel free. You know, it's like an iron grip on your soul. You get what I'm saying, right? So that's why you need to allow yourself, surrender yourself to, you know, life's journey and your artist journey, okay? Which is like, you know, like I have no idea what's gonna happen. You get what I'm saying, right? Like I want this specific thing to happen, and I'm gonna make it happen by doing this, and then, you know, it's like you're tightening your grip, and I wanna make it happen, and this is gonna happen like this, and it's gonna happen exactly. It's like nothing's gonna happen exactly the way you planned it, okay, or you thought it was gonna happen, right? So what you gotta do is you gotta loosen that grip. You gotta surrender, okay, and understand that you're in the process, okay, that you're in the journey right now, and maybe it's not looking good right now, okay, but it will look good later, okay, because you're still developing, you're still cooking, right? And you need to have faith that you're still cooking, that you're still developing, that you're still on the journey, right? You need to walk the journey to know that you're continuing the journey, but you know, allow yourself to just keep going, okay, right? If it's been too long, if you're like oh, I've done this thing for so long and I'm not where I want to be, that's okay, dude. Just surrender yourself. Just allow yourself to just be like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna keep walking. I'm just gonna keep going, you know. And there's gonna be all these voices in your head, you know, whether internally or externally, that's gonna tell you, like, you know, stop, blah, 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 you know, like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You know, and you just gotta be like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna keep going, dude. I'm just gonna keep like that is my nature. That is where I feel things pulling me to, right? So I'm just gonna keep going, and it doesn't matter the voices, it doesn't matter what people are telling you, it doesn't matter what you tell yourself, okay? That you're gonna just keep going, you know? And once you've learned that about yourself, you've learned to accept that you're just gonna keep going, you're never gonna give up, right? Then you could be a little bit easier on yourself. You know, you could be a little bit easier on your journey and how you assess, you know, your progress, right? It's just like, well, I'm just gonna keep going, so it doesn't really matter like which milestones I make when, right? You know what I mean? Of course you want to be going at a good pace, right? Of course you want to be pushing forward and learning, right? Always, okay? You know, but there comes to a point where, you know, you're at max capacity, dude. You're learning and you're progressing and you're doing the thing at max capacity, right? And, you know, of course, maybe your capacity will increase, or maybe you're like what you need to find is that right amount of progress at a right amount of time for you, for your life, okay? And once you hit that, then just be like, that's fine, dude, okay? I just got to keep going, you know? Right here, this is my, you know, go-to amount of time. This is my go-to amount of progress that I'm going to make. Go, right? And then, you know, you're just going to keep improving. You're just going to keep chugging along, you know what I mean? Right? Understanding your speed and your you know, how you're going, right? And you just got to let go, dude. You just got to let go of that control, let go of that, like, okay, well, I'm on the rails now. I'm on the path now. I know where to go at this point. So you just got to resign yourself to just keep walking the path, you know, right? It's like walking a trail, right? Where you know the trail will be treacherous, will be, you know, up and down, you know, it's going to be tiring, you know what I mean? It's going to bring you things that you don't know, right? But you got to walk the path anyway. You're just going to keep going, you know, instead of worrying about like what's next on the path. What if I, you know, hit this rocky, you know, terrain that I can't go on? And it's like, well, like at a certain point you're gonna be like, well, I know how to climb the thing, you know, I know how to get past this obstacle, I know how to do these things. See, when you're starting off on the journey, you're gonna be hitting those obstacles right away, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna be like, oh, I don't know how to do it, right? But at a certain point, once you've matured as an artist, once you've matured as a creative, you're gonna like hit those points where you just gotta go zen. You just gotta go like, okay, I'm just gonna do the thing. I'm just gonna do the thing, and it's fine. You know what I mean? And that, like, usually that comes in the form of like, you know, like tedious work, right? If you gotta do something, it's gonna be tedious, and you know it's gonna be tedious. Then you just all you gotta do is zen out, okay? And I'm just gonna do the thing. You know, put on some music and just do the thing, 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 do the thing. You know what I mean? Like if you gotta like paint a bunch of struts on a bridge, you know, and it's gonna be like, you know, really tedious work, just do it, dude. Just resign yourself, okay? Right? And take that approach with not just your artwork, but with your life and your journey, right? We're all on our own different journeys, right? And some people have a hard time accepting theirs, you know, and I feel like that struggle, and like, you know, within myself too, right? that struggle is sometimes worse than what you're actually struggling with, right? Than like an actual like obstacle in your path, right? So remove that excess struggle, remove that like fighting of yourself, right? And allow yourself to just be like, well, I'm doing this thing and I'm just gonna keep doing it. So I might as well get out of my own way, right? I might as well stop trying to bombard myself, you know what I mean, right? So if you're on your journey, right, and you're struggling mentally, right, if you're struggling emotionally, and you're finding that you're fighting yourself a lot, right, using the voices of others to tell you what you want and what you need, right, stop. Okay, stop and just surrender yourself. You know, just like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, and that's fine. Okay. And I think we can end the video here, guys. Please, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out my Prince of Patreon if you want to support the channel. Consider becoming a channel member. Join the Discord, all that bullshit. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.